אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב מה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב מה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב מה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב מה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב מה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב מה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב מה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to everybody who's joining us in the sanctuary this evening, and welcome to those who are joining us via live stream. I am grateful and thankful that Andy Babitz is joining me on the bima this evening as our cantorial soloist. So nice when there is always singing help, and I hope that everybody will join in singing with us today. How many people are tired today? It feels like it's all right, yesterday was a big day. How many people were out shopping today? Oh, wow. Once upon a time, there would have been a lot of hands up. I braved one store, but I will tell you, as my family is sitting over there can also tell you, I went out in a Hanukkah sweatshirt also because I said, everybody else will be in holiday finery, so I will wear mine as well. So I don't know that anybody noticed, but that's okay, except for those who were embarrassed by what I chose to wear. So, how many people were focused on the news, especially this morning? We also, watching the news, it was good news and still more to come, and we'll continue to offer prayers. So as we welcome in Shabbat this evening, I am excited to invite the Babitz and the Robbins families forward, Brian and Judy, Alan and Marla. We can also just have Diana bring the kids, Joe, Allie, everybody can come up. You're all here together, or not. We turn to page 121 for our blessings over the candles. And again, we'll continue to light 3 candles, one of those candles being a light that we light for those who are still being held captive.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotov v'tzivanu lahadlik ner Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who sanctifies us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
And if you are able, I ask you please to stand at this time. And if you're at home, a great time to take up a drink for Kiddush. I'm going to pass this back to our readers, who will read the beginning of the Kiddush in English.
And this was the evening, and there was morning the 6th day. The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
And we continue together with the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu Shabbat Kodesho Be'ava Uvratzon Hinhelanu Zikaron Lemase Bereshit Ki Hu Yom Tehilot Le'Raya Kodesh Zecher Letziyat Mitzrayim Kivanu varcharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'avahu Haltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
And we say together, L'chaim, L'chaim.
Come here.
And you may be seated.
Thank you. Go with me.
How many of you remember the first time you walked into this sanctuary? For some of you, perhaps tonight is your first time, and if so, welcome. I want you to think about, for those who are here just for the first time tonight, or the first time that you walked into this sanctuary, what is it that you noticed? I will say, all right, as some people are pointing up to the ark, up there, I will say the first time I walked into the United Hebrew Sanctuary, I noticed that it was blue. That is the very first thing that I noticed. And I walked in with Rabbi Kaplansky, and I turned around and I said, "It's blue. It's really blue." And he said, "You don't like blue?" And I said, "No, blue's fine. It's just really blue." But then he very proudly was showing me the ark. And I was so excited as I stood there and I was looking at the ark doors, looking at the metalwork on the ark, both together. So you have to look at them like this, but then when the ark doors are closed, these two panels of metalwork are to each other. And I was looking at it and kept thinking, wow, I love the imagery on this ark. Now, I saw, and I love to tell this story to visiting groups, I saw angels going up and down the ladders from this week's Torah portion. And Rabbi Kaplansky very proudly said, "Look at the burning bush." And I said, "Oh, well, it's art. And with art, we see the artist paints or sculpts or does whatever, and sometimes we see what it is that the artist intends us to see, And sometimes we see something different, and that is what is beautiful about art, that we can all see and enjoy different things in there. So I don't know, hopefully you might see the angels in there, those little floofs of fire. I thought those were angels, and that's a ladder. That's what I saw. So both Jacob's ladder and the burning bush are moments where God's presence could have easily been missed. Jacob could have just woken up, even though it was in a dream, he could have woken up the next morning and forgotten it. And Moses could have just kept walking on and not noticed that a bush was burning and that a bush wasn't being consumed as it was on fire. And so both could have dismissed these moments. How often do we dismiss these types of moments in our lives? Times where perhaps God might be present or something important might be happening in that moment. How often are we quick to just dismiss what it is that we feel and just quickly move on? How often do we not take a moment to just acknowledge or sometimes even think about what was being said? And sometimes it may be something that we think isn't, quote, holy at all, or something completely silly, and yet when we stop and think about that moment, we might miss out if we don't stop and think about it. Sometimes it could be a moving conversation with somebody. It can be an aha moment. It can be a time when we are unexpectedly brought to tears. It could be a conversation about going to the bathroom. It could be a moment of disbelief when we're seeing or experiencing something that we're just not recognizing what's happening. Too often we move past these moments instead of taking time to notice them, experience them, maybe dig into them, or even remember them. When Jacob remembers his dream in this week's parasha of these angels going up and down the ladder, he builds an altar in the morning, and he recognizes the holiness of that moment and of that space. And so perhaps our message on this Shabbat, especially the Shabbat following Thanksgiving, but also this Shabbat that we know in our country we now move into this holiday season, and what comes from holiday but holy. So for some it's a holy season. In a few weeks we will experience Hanukkah, which is a holy season. And so as we enter into this time, perhaps our message from this week is not to dismiss those seemingly random, unimportant moments. Perhaps we're supposed to stop, allow ourselves to experience them, and maybe even acknowledge that moment with a blessing. Whether there's an actual blessing for it in Hebrew or English, or we make up a blessing, we can do that. We don't have to always have that formulaic blessing that we in Judaism are, always experiencing. We can just say, I'm grateful for this moment, or I feel blessed because of this moment. And so my prayer for all of us on this Shabbat is that we see and experience the holy in this world that happens to us every day in unexpected ways, because as we learn from our Torah portion, surely God is in this place, and we just need to awaken ourselves to it. So hopefully we will have moments of recognizing God in this world over this Shabbat and in the weeks to come. And we turn now to page 138 and 139 as we join together for Lachadodi. We'll sing the first two verses, and then after the second verse, we'll rise and face the back doors as we'll come to our 9th verse on page 139.
Lecha dodi likrat kala la 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 ya la la ya la la Penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala la 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 ya la la ya la la Penei Shabbat nekabela Shamar v'zohar v'diburecha Ishmi'anu Elohayim echad Adonai echad U'shemo echad L'shemo tifaret v'lidilah Lecha dodi likrat kala ya la la ya la la ya la la Penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala ya la la ya la la ya la la Penei Shabbat nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechuven elcha Ki kor habarach Merosh mikedem nusucha Sof masad ha'hila Lecha dodi likrat kala ya la la ya la la ya la la Penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala ya la la ya la la ya la la Penei Shabbat nekabela Boe shalom etere be'ala Gam b'simcha u'v'tola Toch emunei am segula Boi Allah Boi Allah Lecha dodi likrat kala ya la la ya la la ya la la Penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala ya la la ya la la ya la la Penei Shabbat nekabela
We remain standing and we continue on page 146 with the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Chamevorah Adonai Chamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vaed Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vaed.
We continue on page 148 as we join together in Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil bein yom uvein layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 150, we join together at the middle of the page in the English. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 152, we join together with Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malachuto Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated, and we turn to page 154, and we'll join together in chanting Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot bein einecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvishe'arecha, leman tizkeru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim le'elohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher Hotzeiti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot Lachem Lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. Page 157, and we'll read together at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. And we turn to page 158 as we join together in singing Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef elem. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Moses and the children crossed the sea. They sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh.
And as we move from a prayer and song of freedom, we turn to page 160, and we move over to Hashkivenu, not just a prayer of peace, but a prayer of safety, a prayer that asks for God to shelter us in God's presence and in God's safety, bringing us shalom, peace. And we'll join together singing Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu lechayim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu lechayim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu lechayim, lechayim.
And we move from prayers of peace and safety and comfort as we moved toward the Amidah. And we turn to page 165. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. And we rise now, if you are able, for the recitation of the Amidah. We begin on page 164.
Adonai sevatai tifta ufi tehillatcha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Page 166.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava. melech ozer u'moshia u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrak Sarah.
Page 168.
Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, Mekayeh hakol hatarav le'oshia.
Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem.
Mekakel chayim v'chesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim ve'rofeh holim, Umatir asurim. Umekayeh emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha ba'al gevurot umido meloch. Melech mamit umekayeh umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman lata l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol.
Page 170.
Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yahalelu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
You may be seated. And we turn in our prayer books to page 177. And we can never offer too many prayers of gratitude. Maybe some of you went around your tables yesterday to say what it is for which you are thankful. And so we hold those things in our hearts as well as the many other things that we are grateful for as we join together at the top of page 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. And we turn to page 179 as we join together at the top of the page with a prayer for peace. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael, bashalom. And as we move from a prayer for peace, we move now toward a prayer for the state of Israel. It is not, this particular one is not in your prayer book. Avinu Shabashamayim Sur Yisrael V'goalo Barech et Medinat Yisrael Reshit Simchat Geulatenu. Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel. Bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Strengthen the hands of those who defend our holy land. Grant them deliverance and adorn them in a mantle of victory. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. And together we say,
Amen.
Amen. And we turn to page 371 as we come to our Mishaberach prayer. Mishaberach meaning one who blesses. And there are actually multiple Mishaberach prayers. The one we're most familiar with, is that in which we say for healing. But we also ask a Mishaberach this evening, a Mishaberach for the hostages. Though there were some 25 what a blessing, we are grateful that they were released today. There are still many more, especially young children among them. And so we ask for their protection as we offer this prayer. For our siblings, our brothers, our sisters, the entire family of Israel, all who are in the midst of distress or taken into captivity, whether on sea or on land, may the ever-present One have compassion for them and bring them out from suffering to relief, from darkness to light, from oppression to redemption, now, swiftly, and soon. And together we say,
Amen.
Amen. And so now we turn our hearts, asking for Mishaberach for healing. We turn our thoughts and prayers to those in our community in need of healing and wholeness, of body, of mind, and spirit. And if you are thinking of a loved one who is in need of these prayers of healing, I invite you now to rise. And together as one, we will share the names, these precious names, with our community. And we take all of those names in our hearts. You may be seated as we ask God to swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, a refuah shalema, as we join together on page 371, singing our Mishaberach for healing.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Bekor Abraham Laimotenu. Those in need of healing, bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Bekor Abraham Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And we take a moment for silent and personal prayer.
Yehiyu liratzon imreifi vehegyon libi lefaneh Adonai Tzuri V'gohali V'gohali Yehiyu liratzon Imrefi Ve'heyon libi Lefanecha Adonai Tzuri Adonai Tzuri V'gohali V'gohali
Shabbat Shalom and welcome. My name is Jim Sussman. I'm a member of the United Hebrew Board of Trustees. Tomorrow at UH, we'll begin with Torah study at 9 a.m. in the chapel or on Zoom. The Shabbat morning service will begin at 10:30 in the Millstone Sanctuary or also online live streaming. Our upcoming events on our family holiday cooking series will begin on December 3rd at 5 p.m. with a Hanukkah theme. At each session, you'll learn some new holiday recipes. This is perfect for anyone 8 and up, and you may register by calling the temple office. Other themes include challah baking on February 11th, Passover on April 21st, and we will conclude the series with the Shavuot theme on May 19th. On Friday, December 8th, at 5:15, we'll have a Latke bar, Hanukkah Shabbat with Donnie and Eric from Nevish Mountain at 6 p.m. At 7 o'clock, there'll be a Sufa Konot Oneg. At 7:30, Nevish Mountain Hanukkah concert. The temple's annual meeting will be at 3 p.m. on Sunday, December 10th in the chapel. As part of the annual meeting, there'll be an election of officers and board members, as well as the presentation of the Irene Fox Ruach Award to Susie Weber. Please register for the annual meeting by either going to the temple website or by calling the office. Menorahs and mascots will be on Monday, December 11th at 6 p.m. with Fred Bird and the St. Louis Blues mascot Louie. On Wednesday, December 13th at 7:30 will be the Whiskey and Wisdom program. And on Thursday, December 14th at 6 p.m. will be the intergenerational game night. And December 15th through the 17th will be artist in residence Dan Nichols. For information and additional upcoming classes and programs, please visit our UH website. Thank you to our tech team for making it possible for all of us to be together virtually this evening. And please check our website or call the office for our gift shop hours. Shabbat Shalom.
And as we begin to conclude our service, we turn now in our prayer books to page 586 as we rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר ראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא עשה לנו כמשפחת האדמה, שלא שם כגלגנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, Ushemo echad.
You may be seated. And we turn in our prayer books to page 594. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. This Shabbat, the heartfelt condolences of our congregation go out to the family of Shirley Inez Appel. We are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, for Bella Ruth Packman, Patsy Ann Platzelman, Marshall Irvin Trachtman, and Roberta Weissman. And this week, the Shabbat, we observe the yahrzeits and we lovingly remember Raymond B. Alexander, Rabbi Nathan E. Barish, Isidore Bernstein, Sarah Bierman, Albert L. Bleiweiss, Ronald Breimer, Miriam Choten, Jack Schuver, Jacob J. Cohen, Melford N. Cohen, Herman A. Cohn, Sadie Crown, Albert S. Davis, Bertha Demba, Goldie C. Etter, Rosa Essler, Achille Feinstein, Albert M. Finn, Morris Glazer, Stephen A. Goldenhirsch, Louis Golliber, Sidney Greenberg, Anne Greenfield, Albert P. Harris, Dorothy Hirschenhorn, Alan R. Hurwitz, Maxine J. Jackaway, Max Joachim, Jenny Judd, Arthur M. Kaiser, Lorraine M. Kay, David J. Kravitz, Ronald B. Kunitz, Sanford C. Kussmer, J. Burton Levine, Kenneth W. Levy, Charlene H. Melman, Lena Meyer, I. W. Miller, Minnie Miller, Abella Morris, Barney Newmark, Sadie Opper, Sylvia Osberg, Sidney Oswitz, Saul Oxenhandler, Hyman Packman, Bessie Polinsky, Esther Rain, Anna S. Rickelson, Milton H. Rudman, Adolph Rosenfeld, Morris D. Roven, Charles Rubin, Robert B. Rubin, Albert Salomon, Nathan Sander, Carol Tyner Schneider, Marion Schneider, Harry Schneider, Fanny M. Schwartz, Magda S. Schwartz, Ben Schwartzman, Richard J. Schwartz, Edwin I. Schanfeld, Ida Schultz, Ann Simon, Rudolph S. Singer, Bessie Smith, Nathan Smith, Sarah Sobel, Ruth Arbor Sokolik, Della Stein, Jess Stern, Bess Strauss, Tilly Suffian, Bernard Sussman, Martha Suskin, Benton E. Taylor, Alvin B. Vittert, Harry Wade, Leonard Wagner, Harry Wald, Bertha Waschauer, Tilly Weinberg, Bert M. Weissman, Sally Schanfeld Yaffe. If one of these loved ones is yours, I invite you to rise so that we may recognize the memory of your loved one. Zichrono livracha, may their memories be a blessing. And we now invite everyone to rise and stand with our mourners for Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. And that can be found on page 598. Yit Gadal ve'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Bi'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi Shemei Rabba Mevorach Leolam Momei Almaya. Yit Barach Veyish Tabach Veyit Pa'ar Veyit Romam Veyit Naseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit ale, v'yit halal, shemei dekudashar barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. And on this Shabbat, as we've come together to welcome in this day of rest, and more importantly, a day of peace, we are going to end with a blessing for peace. So if we go back in our prayer books, that is on page 178. And I just realized that one in our community is going to Israel soon, but I won't call her up for a blessing. But I will acknowledge that Zoe Rosenberg is leaving in a week to go and volunteer for 2 weeks with the efforts there. So we're sending her off in peace and glad that she can go and help. I've now embarrassed her, but she should have a blessing. So I want to say thank you to Andy for being up here and being on the Bima this evening and sharing his soul and his spirit with us. It is a blessing, and we are blessed in this congregation to have so many wonderful singers who feel, who want to be on our Bima and share their voices. So thank you. And as I've heard, the next generation will be on the Bima in a couple of weeks for the Nefesh Mountain service, and I can't wait to hear their beautiful voices. And so we end with a prayer for peace, and may we take this prayer with us, not just for ourselves, but when we leave this sanctuary tonight, may we take this prayer and help to spread it to the rest of our world, as peace is so desperately needed for all of us.
Shalom Ra, Vayisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Ra, Vayisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki Atahu Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Ki Atahu Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav, Vayisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Vayisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav, Vayisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Vayisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim
Shabbat Shalom.
Good shots.